Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys, full-time trader and technical analyst, and I'm good at observing patterns in markets. And there's a very clear pattern over the last, really all year, but it's very magnified the last few weeks, and that is QQQ and SMH on one side, XLF XLV on the other side, and they are very much inverse to each other. And with that information, we've been looking for paired trades in both directions. We were looking for QQQ consolidation here, and I was talking about when it finally tops out on this bounce, if XLF is a daily bull flag heading to new all-time highs, that's best case scenario rotation. So you can see XLF and XLV have been going, not today, the top's in for now, but for weeks, just straight up, last 2 weeks, let's say, while QQQ and SMH have been consolidating for 2 weeks. Now, QQQ and SMH are trying to get the daily bounce going, and XLF and XLV have finally topped out into the start of some daily consolidation. And this relationship is even more magnified at the start of every trading day. For the first 5 to 10 minutes, QQQ and XLF are all I'm staring at because you get significant information. If they're both going up together or both going down together, that's less common and it's more notable. If they're inverse, that is far more often the most common scenario. And let's just look at the 1 minute time frame this morning to show you exactly what I mean. And then there's more information that we can derive from that in just a moment. But here's the start. XLF straight drop, QQQ straight up. I cannot stress enough how often this happens in the first 10 minutes of trading every day. And again, when it doesn't happen, that's when something stands out to pay extra attention because it's a bit different. From that point, after the first 10 to 15 minutes, we then see a shift in that relationship. And it either shifts to favor the bulls or shifts to favor the bears. How do we get which is which? How do we know? Well, here, XLF hit the low of the day at 940. And this is today, September 5th. We have not hit a new low of the day since then. We hit a high of the day at 938 and 944 on QQQ. Look at QQQ new highs. If we were going to stay tick for tick inverse, XLF would be dropping to new lows. This is a shift in the correlation, which happens very often after the first 10 to 15 minutes, and we can say it favors the broader market bulls at this point. Because again, tick for tick first 10 minutes, no new lows on XLF, while new highs on QQQ. And so the opposite would be if XLF was hitting new lows and QQQ is not hitting new highs. That would be a shift to a bearish correlation. So my mind as a trader, every morning in the first 10 minutes, what's QQQ and XLF doing relative to each other? And then most of the time it's, still inverse. That's the first bit of information that I get. And then the next bit of information is, how does that relationship shift after the first 10 to 15 minutes? Does it shift slightly to favor the bulls or slightly to favor the bears? And that's why I keep talking about the most important signal for me in the broader market is when all major sectors are dropping together, because it doesn't happen often in a bull market. And when it does happen, it glaringly stands out that something is a bit different. But just want to, for those of you that are full traders, and a lot of people trade futures, and these are details that they don't see. And I think it is useful because, again, if the broader market is dropping because of QQQ and SMH, but I see XLF and XLV ripping to all-time highs, it's not the same magnitude of bearishness on ES futures that it would be for me if these sectors are dropping together. So if you're a futures trader, maybe it's information overload, but I do think that there's a lot of good information to be gleaned from this relationship. And if you're like me and you're just trading these sectors and these leveraged ETFs and the individual names obviously impacted by these sectors, this is a very important concept. And again, this correlation's always changed. So eventually, maybe 2025, this inverse relationship will be gone and it won't be the same. It won't matter as much. But you focus on a relationship and a pattern and you pay attention to it as long as it's there. You don't attach your entire trading style to it because eventually it's going to change. But it's here now and it's definitely worth paying attention to here towards the end of 2024.